Hi, I'm Natalia. Welcome to the Nine Patchalong 3.0. I'm so excited about this stitch along. This is actually the third year that we've hosted this free stitch along, and it's always my favorite part of the year. I look so forward to September every year. So what is this Nine Patchalong? This is a free stitch along where I am going to be showing you over the course of the next 12 days how to machine quilt a 9-patch quilt block, and we're going to be using machine quilting rulers. So this is a great way for any quilter if you're working on a long arm machine like I am here, or if you're working on a sit down machine, even a domestic machine. Anybody can join in and stitch along. So a few things that you will need before we get started. First, you want to register for the stitch along on our website, peaceandquilt.com. We'd like you to register there because then we can send you updates, we can send you emails, you'll be in the know, and you'll be entered to win prizes as you participate. So make sure you do register through our website, peaceandquilt.com. The next thing you're going to need is something to quilt on. You can quilt these designs on anything. However, I am going to be quilting all of my designs on this awesome panel that I picked up from Honest Fabrics. Now, we'll post a link on the website to Honest Fabric, but you can just go over there and pick up the panel. There are actually two different versions of the 9 Patchalong panel. One has 12 blocks and one has 9 with some bonus blocks at the bottom. You can use either one of those, just depending. Do you want to quilt all 12 blocks or do you want to just quilt 9 of the blocks? But hey, let's be honest, if all you have in your stash is some solid fabric, pull it out, mark some squares on there, and you can quilt along with me too. All right, so you're going to need some machine quilting rulers. I am going to be focusing a lot on my mini machine quilting rulers, the mini 4-in-1 and the mini inside out. You can pick these up on our website, peaceandquilt.com. I'm focusing on these smaller rulers throughout this stitch along because not only are they awesome for a long arm, but for the sit down machine, domestic machine, they fit really nicely in your throat space. They're a really good size to hold on to and really just get the hang of machine quilting with rulers. You'll notice that I do have a Piece and Quilt pop socket ruler grip on the back side of my ruler, something to help me hold on to those rulers as I quilt. The batting that I'm using is one layer of the Quilter's Dream Poly Deluxe batting. All right, friends, today we're starting out with the mini 4-in-1 machine quilting rulers and the mini inside out machine quilting ruler, and you're going to want to grab something to mark with. I love using the Mark Be Gone marker, so I'm going to grab those, hop over to my machine, and let's get started with block number 1. I'll start out block number 1 by adding some markings. Along the outside of each of these blocks, I am going to start out by marking 3 lines. My first line will be right in the center of each of these blocks, creating 2 new sides, and then from there I'm going to mark the center of each of those sides. So 3 lines on each side of each of these blocks. Now, after I'm done quilting, to remove the blue Mark Be Gone, I like to use a misting spray bottle and a little solution. I share a full tutorial on my YouTube channel showing you how to remove the Mark Be Gone markings. One thing I will say is make sure that you do not apply any heat until you know that those markings have been removed completely. Now it's time to start quilting. I have actually gone through and quilted all of my borders and sashing. Generally when I'm quilting, I do work left to right across my quilt, and I'll quilt those as I go. All right, let's grab our mini 4-in-1 machine quilting ruler. You can start on any point on this block that you choose. I'm choosing to start on this first orange block. I'll start out and I'm going to use my mini 4-in-1 machine quilting ruler, stitch point to point curved line. Once I've stitched across, then I'm going to switch to my mini inside out machine quilting ruler and stitch right back to where I started. Now, anytime you're working with machine quilting rulers, make sure that you're holding your ruler 1/4 of an inch away from where you want your thread to intersect. By doing that and repeating that process across this block, I'm going to end up with 3 coils. Now let's move on to the next block. In this next block, I'm going to repeat the same process, working back and forth between the mini inside out and the mini 4-in-1 machine quilting ruler. You'll see as I'm stitching these designs that often I'm going to stitch starting with one ruler. It really doesn't matter, but then I'll stitch 2 lines with the second ruler, and then from there I'll switch to the other ruler and quilt 2 lines. You also can do this design in any order. You could stitch all with the mini 4-in-1 and then all with the mini inside out. There are no rules. All right, I love the look of Stitch in the Ditch, so from there I'm going to continue on traveling to my next white block where I'm going to repeat this process. So the key to this block is that I'm alternating the direction of the coils in each of my patches to really create a fun kind of woven look, but not necessarily woven because they're coils. Anytime you're working with machine quilting rulers, I like to always remember gentle pressure. So here, as I'm quilting, I'm holding my ruler nice and gently with my left hand. You can see that I have one of our Piece and Quilt pop socket ruler grips on my ruler, and I'll just kind of hold on to that. Gentle pressure on the ruler, gentle pressure on my machine up against my ruler, and then stitch those point-to-point lines. You'll find that if you start pushing too hard, applying too much pressure, that's when your rulers are going to start to wiggle around and you're not going to end up with the results you desire. You will notice here on my mini 4-in-1 machine quilting ruler, actually on both of my rulers here, I do have some of our Piece and Quilt ruler grip tape that goes right on the bottom side of the ruler, and it just kind of grabs onto the fabric so that you end up with a really nice crisp line and you don't feel like your ruler's wiggling at all with that. So from there, I'm going to continue on working my way around my block, making sure that I'm alternating directions with my coils. Notice that as I travel and work my way around my block, I am making sure to stitch in the ditch as I travel so that when I finish the block, hopefully all of my stitch in the ditch work will be complete, but if it's not, at that point I will go through and finish my stitch in the ditch work.
Bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great take a step back to see the truth around you. From a distance you can tell.
This block is so much fun to machine quilt. I just love how it turned out, and I love that we were able to use both of the mini machine quilting rulers to create this really cool design. Now, a fun way to dress up this design, you could always add fills to the insides of those coils. Something like figure eights, ribbon candy, even little loops would be so cute filling in those coils. Play with these designs and have fun. These are your quilts, and the intention here is to learn and get comfortable machine quilting. I love how block number 1 turned out. I can't wait to move on to block number 2.